What's up, guys? It's Shelby with the official grand spanking premiere debut of the new Scream Stream format. The much beloved and hated Scream Stream format is dead. Long live Scream Stream. We're back in action. So we're gonna try it out. See how y'all kids like it. And if you don't like it, tough, because we're still gonna make it. So deal with it.
Alright, welcome guys to our new format of Scream Stream. As you can tell, on the right hand side of the screen we have a little list of different topics that we'll be going through tonight. First off, we're going to be doing some This Day in Horror History, which each episode rather, we will be bringing up a random fact that happened on that day, whether it be actors being born or dying or films being released on that particular day. So
we're not gonna cover dead people in horror movies. That's unnecessarily morbid.
It's so obscene. And then
I thought this is My Little Pony hour.
That will happen at some point, I'm sure. And yeah, so as you can tell, we have other things lined up. But first, let's kick it off with our This Day in Horror History. And for June 6th, this day in 1979, Diana Prince, porn star turned legit actress, who's appeared in Porn Shoot Massacre, The Mangled, Bunnyman 3, and Frankenstein Created Bikers. Currently better known as Darcy, the male girl on The Last Drive-In on Shudder. She was born this day in 1979, so happy birthday, Darcy, Diana. Maybe sometime we should give Bunnyman 3 a watch on Scream Stream, and on that note, we will move on to our highlighted vendor of the week. We started doing this back on the old format of Scream Stream, and definitely want to continue to push those who are unable to be at conventions to sell and promote their products and merchandise and stuff. So let's go ahead and play this week's vendor segment. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in to this first edition of our featured vendors, where we try to do a little bit to help promote and bring some vendors that aren't able to be at various conventions, every weekend. Try to push them up a little bit in the spotlight and give them some exposure and stuff. And today I have Erica Brown with us from Zombie Couture. And thanks for joining us and talking to us for a little bit.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah. So you all specialize in clothing, is that correct?
Yeah, clothing, and I've been doing some other random stuff, like some paintings and just kind of home decor stuff too, but mostly it's the clothing stuff we do.
Okay. Oh. So how long have you all been doing how long have you all been doing this at conventions and setting it up and selling and all that?
I actually started doing something called the Zombie Hotel, and I did that for about 6 years. And then that was kind of a mishmash of all sorts of different things, not just clothing. And then me and my best friend decided we wanted to focus more on clothing. So we started doing this 3 years ago. And we did some conventions and took a break for a little bit. And just as we're about to start getting back into it again, now all this goes on and it's great. So.
Yeah, that has to be a huge gut punch. So were y'all planning on going to any cons this year? Did you already have ones kind of booked and, spaces, that you had already paid for and stuff?
Yeah, we have these big ones we like to do here. These, they're big, huge flea markets. and there was an all-night flea market we were going to do in August, and then we were looking into the days. We're out here big as Days of the Dead, so we were looking at doing that, but then like everything got canceled, and it was like great.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like. I mean, I know there's some cons that are hoping to have their cons the later half of the year, but I really want to expect the full swing of conventions to get back to how it was until next year sometime, honestly. But yeah, so kind of highlight some of the different items that you all make and all that.
You know, we're really big on, me and my best friend love thrift store shopping. But we love finding things and reinventing them and putting our personal touches on them. Like, I'm big into customizing jean jackets and like skirts and stuff. And I do a lot of sewing and like spray painting on them. And my co-owner, she's big into actually hand painting on them. And it's cool because we have completely different styles that we do. Like, I like the jean jackets, and she's big into and like the skeletons and stuff, and so we have two different like styles that we add to both of this, so it's a little something for everybody.
Yeah. So you two are almost like the Romeo and Michelle of horror.
Yeah, and for a while it was cute. Like, I had the black hair, she had the blonde hair, so that we were like the total
really?
spice.
Right. Yeah. That's awesome. So have you been a horror fan your whole life, or is it something that's kind of crept up more recently, and by more recently, like the last decade or so?
Oh gosh, when I was probably 15, my dad took me to my first horror movie convention. It was Full Moon. It used to do Full Moon road shows, and it used to be, the owner
yeah.
All this crazy stuff, little venues, and like ever since I got introduced to Full Moon Pictures, it was just obsessed. So, and then getting to go to Days of the Dead and like meeting all these different celebrities, just walking around and like hanging out was just awesome. So,
right.
Like all these
people.
First person that I met was Tony Todd, and it was the first horror movie that I ever saw that just scared the crap out of me. Nicest guy, but I'm just like, dude, you were the first person who scared the living daylights out of me. And he's like, that's awesome. Like, yeah.
Right. So I see back there you have an Annabelle doll. Is right, yeah. So and you mentioned Full Moon and stuff. So are the dolls and puppets? Is that more your niche as far as it comes to like a subgenre of horror?
Oh yeah, all creepy dolls and puppets. I actually have Billy's. You can't see them, but he's sitting over here next to me.
Oh no, nice.
Yeah, my house is full of all the creepy dolls, and it doesn't even fit my kids anymore. So.
Right. So I'll try to do any online sales while you aren't able to, go to conventions and go to different venues and stuff to sell in person. Have you all tried to push more of the online sales and stuff?
We do a lot of that. It's a lot harder when you're selling like custom clothing. People like to touch it and try it on and look at it.
Right.
So it's not like selling T-shirts where it's like a certain size. So I mean, we're doing okay, but it's definitely taking a toll on us. So.
Yeah. So if people want to find you online, what social media platforms are you all on currently?
We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Etsy.
Okay. And we'll show those on screen right now and stuff. And so is there anything? Do you have any plans do y'all have any plans for the next year, or just kind of take everything day to day until things get back to the new normal?
Yeah, hopefully conventions start up, but if not, we're just going to keep working and putting stuff online for sale and pushing it that way. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely be plugging your stuff. So, again, thank you for hopping on there and talking to us for a little bit, and we hope we can push some traffic your way. So.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, and we are back from the vendor segment. We really appreciate them taking the time to talk about us and talking about their craft and their merchandise and stuff. And check them out, and definitely try to support them during these rough times. And again, I think we can't do enough to help these vendors who usually are at conventions every single weekend. Try to get a little bit more exposure, and again, you might find something you like. Help you out, help them out and stuff. So, and now we're going to be switching gears and doing some fun, competitive horror movie trivia.
Those two things that belong in the same sentence.
With us, we have Waylon Bacon, who is one of our close creative collaborators who we worked with on the very first episode of Horror Hut. For multiple years, and then we finally got it out, and he's going to be helping us with some additional episodes featuring more of his shorts, like Help Wanted in future episodes. He'll be joining us for the trivia and for our discussion later on remakes versus originals. And we want to thank you for coming on and taking the time with us tonight and to have some fun. So,
cool, man. Thanks for having me.
all right, Brandy, Shelby, are you guys ready to dive into some trivia?
As ready as I'm gonna be.
All right.
I mean, if you're gonna force me, I don't have
Let's
anything to
see.
say.
Do your worst. I'll probably so I'll say the question, and then I will give about 10 to 15 seconds, or otherwise until you all tell me you have answers, and then I'll go, and then it's 3, 2, 1. You guys just shout out the answer, and we'll sort it out from there. So
Watch me fail miserably. I'll go under the
So
pressure.
far, I'm on the
Don't
loose.
use the internet on the iMac behind you. We'll see you cheating.
okay, let's see. Name 2 movies directed by Tobe Hooper.
Ooh. Salem's Lot, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yep.
I don't know.
That's it. Okay. Who directed The Howling, 1981?
Ooh. Joe Dante.
No,
Dante is correct.
I had it in the back of my head. I couldn't think of his last name. We did that. We did The Howling last fall for the show.
Oh man, how are you gonna forgive yourself?
That is a classic train wreck.
How does it
I
feel
love
to be
the scene where the werewolf is transforming, and it just goes on for like 10 minutes, and at a certain point, why hasn't this woman just?
It's
left?
like a Dragon Ball Z
I'm
episode.
not doing anything.
He's like, it
Yeah.
makes no sense. It's so out of place for the rest of the movie. It's so delightful.
All right.
No, it's great.
directed?
Yeah.
Who directed The Shining, 1980?
Stanley Kubrick.
There you go.
There we go.
That's the only question I'll get right.
Let's see, it's 3.
So that Brand, that's a point. I'll be in second place.
The Woman in Black, released in 2012, is an adaptation of a novel of the same name by what author?
What was the name of the movie again?
The Woman in Black.
Woman in Black.
The Nun, I didn't know it was adapted from a book.
Yeah, I didn't either. So
No, wait, no, it's not The Nun. It's literally The Nun.
anybody have any guesses?
Damn.
Man, they were wailing on.
I thought I had it, but then I realized I was thinking of Kiss of the Spider Woman, and then I realized I don't remember the name of that author either. So. Damn.
So the author.
Brandy, this is your opportunity to steal one.
It is.
I didn't even know it was
Pull it
a
out of your
book.
ass.
So the author's name. So I'm going to assume no one knows this.
Can't read.
The author was Susan Hill.
Would not have guessed.
I definitely would have had that.
All right.
That's not Stephen King or William Shakespeare, so no, I wouldn't have guessed it.
I'm going to preface this by saying this answer is not Dario Argento, Shelby.
What about Guillermo Linguini?
What Italian filmmaker directed City of the Living Dead?
Ooh, Lucio Fulci.
Yes.
I just watched Zombie this week.
Oh, did you? I love.
Classic.
Oh,
So
well,
good.
that's why.
I've
Yeah,
been
so you
good.
have a little leg up on us.
You
Yeah,
say
sorry,
Italian
I
horror
was
director,
studying.
it's immediately my friend.
Ooh, Waylon,
Always
you need to do a Gallo.
Dario.
A Gallo. Was it Gallo? Is that how you pronounce it? Gallo.
Oh, is that the guy who did
No.
the
The
Devil's Reign? I think.
the genre. Gallo, the Italian.
Oh.
Is it just pronounced as Gallo? Is it Giallo?
I think it's Gallo.
Gallo.
Yeah, because when I did a music video a couple of years ago, the guys wanted it to look like a Gallo
Mm.
film. Was their whole pitch.
I was gonna say you should definitely do a Gallo project.
I'd be
All
down
right.
with that.
Let's see. Who directed Dawn of the Dead in
I'm sorry, guys, this is fucking
1979?
hard. George J. Romero. In Between Sirens.
It
Feels like Dawn of the Dead right now. 100%. Feels like Dawn of the Dead. I'm going to start having barricades. I'm going to take them all over and we're going to barricade it up.
So Waylon has gotten.
Literally.
All right.
I mean, I've got my Mad Max shit in the corner. I've been building, license plate shoulder pad armor. I mean,
You have for a
ready to
long
go.
time.
Say the word. I'm ready for it. We're going to Gastown and we're going to go to the Bullet Farm and we're going to run this bitch.
All right. What actor
Feels pretty
from
Yeah.
What actor from Inception had a small role in Halloween H2O?
What?
I forgot he was in
Ryan
H2O.
Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds was not in Inception.
Oh, that's the Amityville. Damn it! That's the other perfect question I got wrong.
I'm obsessed
That's the
with
Amityville
him.
remake. Who's not?
I never
okay.
finished watching Inception, so
What actor from Inception had a small role in Halloween H2O?
Okay, well, it's not Leonardo DiCaprio. That's the only person I can remember from Inception.
Was Ellen Page in it?
Oh, God.
I don't know.
I don't
Randy,
know.
this is yours. This is yours for the steal. Who else is in that?
What is his name?
Oh,
Christopher Nolan film, right? So
Joseph-
Michael
Joseph
Caine.
What?
He's in every single Christopher Nolan.
Joseph Levitt Gordon Levitt.
yes, that's him.
Yes, I got one.
That's it.
who was
Joseph
he in
Gordon-Levitt.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I don't know who he was in H2O.
He was in
He
H2O.
might have been one of Josh Hartnett's friends. I don't know.
The deputies.
Mm.
I'm on the scoreboard. I'm on
Damn.
the scoreboard.
So
That's a-
Shelby has
all right.
one. Shelby has one. Brandy has one. Waylon has 2, 3,
12.
3. I think he has 3. He has 3.
Say 12.
3.
I started strong, and then it's like my bowling game.
Okay.
Oh, the power.
All right. Name the skeletal protagonist in The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, Jack Skellington.
Ooh,
Son
that
of a
was
Is
close.
that
All
They
like-
right.
go to Brandy. She said Jack.
I'm gonna give Brandy and Waylon a tiebreaker here.
Right on.
'Cause
okay.
I feel like that was pretty close. What is the name of the antagonist in this film?
Oogie Boogie.
Oogie Boogie.
Yeah.
Okay. In Videodrome, 1983, what is Videodrome?
Repeat the question?
In the film Videodrome, released in 1983, what is Videodrome?
It's a program.
No,
I think that's
It's a
right.
guess.
it's
Yeah.
not a program.
Damn it.
I mean,
Ah,
okay, wait. Okay, define program.
Application.
No.
Shelby.
is it the technology?
Mm-mm.
Is it a computer?
No. Okay. Shelby, you froze? Are you still there?
Oh no.
All I can think about is what's his face sticking his hand inside of his stomach and pulling out a gun.
It was the
Right.
curse. It was like the thing that ran. It was the
Hey.
monster.
Shelby, so you froze, so I kind of lost you a little bit there.
Oh.
What? Okay, so again, define what you mean by program.
Well, I was like, it's the thing that runs. It was the thing that. It was the. Doing it again. It was the antagonist. It was like the
No.
ghost in the shell. I don't know what you would
It
define
it was a television show.
Who's the show?
It was like Max Headroom. That's what I was trying to think.
Oh.
I was trying to think of Max Headroom. I was like, it's the thing. It was the show that ran. It was the monster, but it was a show. Yeah,
All right,
was thinking-
Brandy, if you don't get this,
butchered it.
I'll be shocked. True or false? Cannibal Holocaust does not feature any actual on-screen deaths.
False.
True. Correct.
Is that true?
Someone
Yep.
actually did die in Cannibal Holocaust?
No, but a number of animals were slaughtered for the film, sparking
yeah.
outrage from animal
Hmm.
groups.
Talking about it today at work, actually.
But the slaughtered animals were given to the tribe to eat.
So they weren't totally wasted.
No.
No.
They got. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
weren't just slaughtered for the sake of the film. No.
Look, you could get away with a lot in the '70s. It was a better time for
Yeah.
film.
Ooh, okay, Waylon. You should get this. In what year was Lucio Fulci's Zombie released? In what year?
Ooh, 1979.
That's correct.
Yeah?
He's got a stranglehold in the Italian film.
He does.
This is unfair. These questions are pandering. I only know Dario,
let's do three more.
Luca, a white zombie. That's it. That's my
Yes.
Italian knowledge. Arrivederci.
Arrivederci. Fellini.
I speak the third best Italian.
What rapper faced off with Michael Myers in Halloween Resurrection?
LL Cool J.
No.
I was about to say that too, and I realized that was H2O.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
H2O.
you damn it's shit.
I mean, you can still if you know it, shout it out.
Which one was it again? Would you? say?
Halloween Resurrection.
Oh my God.
Was that the second Rob Zombie one?
No.
No, that was the one after H2O, right?
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
Yeah, because they did two
Resurrection
ill-fated.
was
Many of
one.
Man, the early 2000s were wild.
So
Is it Eminem?
no, oh god, no.
No.
So
Yeah.
this film is the one where they set up the cameras in the Myers house for
It was like a parody.
web-based
It was
series.
like what? Yeah, it was. They were like. It was like a parody of Halloween, but it
He has his famous line.
Oh, weird.
Trick or
I never
treat.
really saw this one.
motherfucker.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah.
You're really not missing much.
I mean, it's worth a watch, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I've watched this once total.
Okay, I'll give you a clue. Oh, actually, no, never mind. No, it's not Exhibit. I was gonna say he hosted Cut My Ride. It wasn't him though.
So close.
Yeah, it's
Oh my god. Who is it?
okay. I'm gonna
Give us
do
a
it.
clue.
I was
He
gonna give you
can't.
that
He doesn't
clue,
know how
but
to.
it wasn't the same rapper.
Who was it that played Chuck Berry in Cadillac Records?
I don't know.
Ice Cube.
I can see him. I can
Ice
see
Cube.
him.
I don't know very many rappers, so this is really hard.
Well, it's like at this point his career was already over. Just like LL Cool J being in it was like he wasn't a rapper anymore. He was just an icon from the.
He still raps during this time.
Well, we all still rap.
All right, so I'm gonna get the count. Okay, so 5, 4,
This is gonna make me angry when you say it.
2,
I'm
1.
gonna cry. I said I wasn't gonna cry.
The actor who
Grandmaster
the rapper who faced off with Michael Myers in Halloween Resurrection was Busta Rhymes.
Damn
it. Rhymes.
I mean, that's the same vein as LL Cool J.
I was thinking like early odds. Busta Rhymes came to mind and went, no, it couldn't have been Busta Rhymes. He was way too,
Right.
too big at that point. Yeah.
There's no
Okay.
way he would stoop to Halloween sequels
Yeah, it was kind of my
in the
thought.
early aughts. It's unfathomable.
2 more. All right, so this one. Who directed Dead Ringers? 1988.
Cronenberg.
Cronenberg. Yep.
David would be so
I
upset
thought
with me.
I was gonna say, Shelby, I thought you had a chance since we showed that last fall.
Oh, really?
Cronenberg.
Cronenberg.
We had
Crazy
we
bastard.
had David Dasmalchian curate a couple of movies, and he picked Dead Ringers and what was the other one? The puppet?
Magic.
The ventriloquist movie. Oh, that one was creepy. I hadn't seen that in a
really
long.
good.
Oh, I've never seen that.
It's really
Oh, Magic?
good. Magic.
Who was in it? Anthony Hopkins was in it.
Anthony Hopkins. Yeah, I mean it was
Huh.
like a creepy. It's yeah, it's kind of one of the first like psychological thrillers because like there's no real action until like the last 10 minutes of the movie. Truly, it's like a build up and then it crescendos into chaos. Like you don't tell. It's like he gets mind melded with his ventriloquist dummy, and then who's committing the crime,
yes.
him or the ventriloquist? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And
That
it's
sounds
Anthony
great.
Hopkins. I mean, he's
It's great. It's really good.
a titan. But
If
this is
you-
before he did his stuff.
If you have Shudder, I think it's on Shudder, but I'm not 100% sure if it's still on there. It was when we did the double feature
I
on it.
feel like I found it on YouTube as well. Like
Yeah,
somebody
yeah,
like done a full rip of it. Like because it's kind of an obscure movie because it was British, I think, wasn't it? It was like a weird B movie. It wasn't. I don't know if it had American release or not. Was it in theaters?
Yeah, oh yeah. It was
Right.
released in theaters.
It's not super popular, so the copyright law and it's a little lax. So you could probably find it. It's hard to
Okay.
find. It's
That's
not really on a lot of services.
Let's
We had
see.
trouble tracking it down. Shudder had it, but it
So
wasn't.
we have one left or two left.
I think
I think
two.
it's
left.
one.
Oh, one.
left.
One.
Okay.
I
Let me
can't
find a
count
good-
either.
let me find a good one here.
Public school. It's a massacre, though. I think I'm in third place. I
Here we go.
think I have 1 point.
Where does John Carpenter's The Thing take place? The Arctic Circle or Antarctica?
Antarctica.
Okay. That's correct.
All right.
Do you want to get in the flamethrower debate?
The what?
Do you want to get in the flamethrower debate?
I'm good.
It's
All
not
right.
standard issue equipment.
Well, Waylon has come in. He's
Massacred.
you know what? So now we have two people that we need to butt up between
Christy and Waylon.
Christy and Waylon. So yeah, we need to do that sometime because that would be a good matchup.
We have a resident horror trivia hound who massacres, lays waste to all in our path. But
Oh, really?
you might be the one to take her down.
Yeah, I could.
With your
I could
extensive
if I
knowledge.
participated, I could do it too. But maybe me, Waylon, and Christy. We need to get.
Well, how about you let me host next time so
Let's
I don't
do
have
it.
to get embarrassed and destroyed by everybody?
All right, we can do it. We can
If
do
it
that.
was sci-fi, then I'd kill you. I would destroy you. Okay? I don't remember horror names very well.
All right, so
Okay.
Waylon obviously got first place. Shelby, by the skin on his eyelid, squeezed by and got second place, and Brandy got one.
but I didn't finish last.
Your question's right.
Yeah, two?
Good for you.
Crap, are we tied?
Oh, you tied. Okay. Oh,
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, excuse you.
All right. Okay. Well, on that note, let's
Let's just do the unsatisfying soccer finish. It's first place is Waylon, and it's second. It's a two-way tie for second. No medals will be awarded.
Let's before we dive into our discussion of the night, I would love to talk to Waylon about some of his stuff he's done, because I know his first 3 short films like the back of my hand by now. I've watched them so many times, from editing Horror Hut, Bob, and Poster Boy, and
my mom loves
My
Bob.
Worst Nightmare. Of that trio, which one of those is most satisfying for you? Is the one that you look back and you'd be like, that's, you kind of lean towards that one over the other 2 and stuff?
That's tough. Oh, thank you, by the way. That's like mind-blowing to hear someone say. Thanks, man. But,
No problem.
probably maybe I think it's like Poster Boy visually I'm the most proud of when I watch that. I just think that's cool.
It is a cool one.
But I think My Worst Nightmare narratively is the one that I feel happiest with of those early ones.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of got like a nice flow. It sort of gets in, gets out.
Yeah.
It's the only one I watch where I don't feel like, I wish I could re-edit this better,
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And in a future episode of Horror Hut, we're going to be showing Job Interview. Was that the name of the short?
Or Help Wanted, where the guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with the warehouse.
Help Wanted, yes, yeah. I loved
man.
that because it was really cool, because it was a unique concept. There was this this company that basically kills and slaughters minorities.
Still topical.
Very, unfortunately still topical today, but I just loved the fact, because that was such a unique concept, and you have these rooms where they are, it's basically like cattle, and then the ending with the ghost of them coming back, and I thought it was a really, really fun short. And there was another one you did. Was it The Ride?
The Ride, yeah.
The Ride, yeah. I actually have not watched that one, but one of our writers on the show, they have written it into an episode, but I definitely want to watch that. Do you currently have any thing written out, short film or feature film wise, that you're kind of plotting for the next 2 to 3 years that you want to try to get going?
Yeah, well, actually, so I've got, I actually have a short film that's on YouTube right now that I did specifically for the, I don't know if you guys heard about this thing Roger Corman did a quarantine.
Uh-huh.
And I had no ideas, because the whole lockdown was so freaky. I just was completely uninspired and kind of panicked. And then a friend who actually worked on The Ride showed me his film he made for the Quarantine Fest, and kind of pushed me into doing one. So I cranked one out, and it was too long to actually meet the requirements, and I got it in a day late, so it didn't work.
That sounds like my editing schedule.
Yeah,
I had a film festival entry that I finished 5 years after it was originally due. I did finish it.
Oh my
damn it!
God. Well, it's hard,
It's
you got
hard.
so many elements, and they all seem to go wrong. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, I got a thing up there now. It's called Bro, and it's topical. It's about a neighbor a guy's trying to leave his apartment to go pick up a prescription, and he's got a neighbor outside who is a COVID-19 denier, who's obviously sick and deathly, who refuses to leave the porch until the guy will come out and hang out with him. And there's a novelty element. You get to see me actually acting, which I don't do because I'm not a good actor.
Nice.
But I needed people, so I played both the neighbor and the guy trapped in the apartment. And I had to shoot it on my cell phone. It was part of the requirements of the festival. So I reshot it last week on my nice camera, so I can have something to send off to the fests. So I got that going on right now, which is fun.
Awesome, that's cool.
And then I actually, it's nice to get something done. I've been sort of
how long
stuck first, like a writer's block, and then
was the ride the last thing that you've done prior to this?
Yeah. So I was just talking to my buddy actually, because he said, man, he goes, we shot the ride 5 years ago, but then we were talking about how if you make films, you live in film time, which is a weird, time goes differently. I'm like, we shot it 5 years ago, but I just finished the festival circuit in 17. So really, it's only been 3 years since I did something, not 5.
Right.
It makes you feel better.
Right. Yeah. So have you written anything like feature length and stuff, or have you just been trying to plug away at some short films?
Actually, I wrote a 30-minute piece, which is the worst length for you to write, but it just worked as like a good first act of a feature length film. And I was shopping it around to various grant programs and screenwriting contests, and didn't get the money. I got some really good notes, which was nice. And then that got put aside because a friend of mine was doing an anthology horror film show and asked me to contribute one. And I tried to go in and shoot a low-budget science fiction film with no money, and ended up spending the next 4 months trying to fix all of the problems I had visually in post-production. Yeah. And so there's kind of the last 2 years leading up to shooting Bro. Gotcha. So now that that's all done, I do have that same script I was talking about that I've been embellishing and fleshing out. Right. So my plan is to try and shoot a little 10-minute version and try to use that to maybe finance the feature that I'm into.
Okay, well, that sounds awesome. Can't wait to hear more about that in the future. Yeah.
I have more to yak about.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, I definitely have to check out Bro, and we'll do a link into that and all your shorts on YouTube right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I thought so. I couldn't remember because I know at one point they were on maybe Vimeo as well.
Oh, I got them both. Yeah, they're both up there. Yes, the Vimeo I think I started later than the YouTube. I got on YouTube right after it started actually.
You remember that 2-minute limit, and then it was a 4-minute limit? What was it, 2006? It was like when they finally let everybody upload videos. It's like, oh my god, we were under such constraints. These kids today have it so good. I feel like such a boomer.
They don't know. Well, have you gone back and looked at videos you uploaded to YouTube years ago? Because the quality actually is worse now than it did.
Yeah.
I wouldn't replace all of my old movies. I have new high quality versions I put up.
I think it'd be hard to find. There's some stuff I could replace with HD, but some other stuff we shot it in formats. We were shooting on VHS-C for some of our stuff, so it's like there's only so much you can stretch those pixels. There's some of that's in the archive period, but it's incredible. We always said if we were able to do this, if this had been 10 years later than when we started, we'd probably be a household name by this point. We've been able to do a show where there was no constraint on time and uploads for the Squid Flick stuff. Just too early. Damn it, man, we were too early.
Yeah, you're ahead of your time.
Now you got kids editing movies on their iPads after preschool.
Oh, it's terrifying. Yeah, they're getting
Gen Z.
So much competition.
There is a lot of competition now. All right, so let's move on to our discussion of the night, which is remakes versus originals. Now, the majority of the time, it feels like, especially with horror films, because I think the fan base has such attachment to a lot of these titles that have been remade and stuff that any word of a remake of the title that they love is going to be automatically met with distrust and disdain and stuff. So, we can talk about just the instances where the audience was right and the remake was unnecessary, and then some that the remake was actually a good addition or a good revamp or adaptation of the original property and stuff. So, Joey, do you have any thoughts on any of those that
I feel like for the most part, it seems like the majority of remakes are nothing but a shameless cash grab / IP renewal. But there are very, very select instances where a reboot or a new sequel entry or a re-envisioning of a series actually works.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it's very, 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 very uncommon that it works. But I would say that the best one that I've ever enjoyed here, like we've been very lucky here, I think, in the last 5 years, 6 years, because I think they're not horror movies, but Mad Max Fury Road and Blade Runner 2049 were absolutely in the spirit of their predecessors and were executed beyond any measure of expectation that I thought they would be. But there are so many that fall short of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems, unfortunately, a lot of horror movies suffer the worst part of that. You know, it doesn't seem like they get the right treatment. But I'm not against them.
No, I mean, I always. Oh, there you go. I always wonder if that's just because they think there's a really simple formula to make people want to go see a horror movie. You know, and if they just stick to that, it'll work, which
Mm-hmm.
isn't probably the case.
Yeah. You know, and you know, in like to me, one of the most reverend remakes is John Carpenter's The Thing, which was a remake of Howard Hawks' The Thing from Another World, and it was so vastly different. You know, time periods were different. The Thing had a lot more graphic gore and violence and stuff, and it was more in line and in tune to the original novella Who Goes There than the Howard Hawks version and stuff. And you know, you look at any list of best remakes ever, and that's going to be usually in the top of horror and sci-fi. That's going to be in the top 5 usually. But another one that's less talked about that I really enjoyed, actually 2 of them. Well, it was technically a prequel, but the remake of Carpenter's The Thing, which was a prequel. I feel like that got destroyed on reviews, and rightfully so because of the CGI, because they use CGI instead of practical effects. But in actuality, filmmakers shot everything practical. It was the studio that said to go back and do it CGI, which was horrible. And but I love that The Thing prequel, remake, whatever you want to call it. It's considered a remake in some circles, but I love it because the end of it ties seamlessly into Carpenter's The Thing. You have the dog at the end running off into the snow, and the pilot and the other Norwegian, I think it was Norwegian, I can't remember, but they're off. Yeah, to try to shoot him, and that's where the film ends, and you can literally pop in the thing and continue it, and it's one kind of seamless movie. So I thought that idea and that split was really cool. If they were able to use the practical effects, and I believe you can find like some test footage online on YouTube of what they did with practical effects and stuff. And
I'll add on to that. I think that's why, again, it's not a horror example. That's why Fury Road was so damn good, is they actually used real effects and didn't go hokey, corny on everything. Like they actually put the time and effort in for real stunts and real effects, and it paid off.
And it's so cool. It's so cool because you can look up FX videos on YouTube of like what they shot on Fury Road and what they added with effects, and
most of it's color correction and background. Like they added more to make the depth look bigger, but it was a lot of. I mean, it was a 15-mile-an-hour high-speed chase that they framed it to make it look faster than it was, but those were real crashes, and a lot of it was real fire and real stuntmen breaking their legs, and it was made it real.
You can feel that tension too when you watch the film. It's just
nerve-wracking. It is.
Yeah.
It's not going to be something popped in after, they fixed it in post. It was color, they made that color correction to make it look like a washed out dystopian wasteland. One of my favorite, again, another thing that was hammered and obliterated by the people that said it deviated too far from the source material, but the book Eli. Yeah. I've always loved the book Eli because the entire movie, when they're outside, is that bleached.
It's washed out almost.
Nuclear apocalypse. It's just completely washed out, a desolate, that color grade, the grading on it's great. It's dark, really dark and gross inside, and it's, just obliterated outside, blinding. I think
I haven't seen it yet.
I like it. I mean,
Yeah.
people, it's not a pinnacle of filmmaking. They can find flaws with it, but it's Denzel Washington and Gary Oldman. What's not to like there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's a great story, and I mean, like The Road was another one that they made, and I think that got torn apart by critics. And I thought that was pretty damn close to the book in a lot of ways. Like what you could show, it was just not fun. You hated every second of it because it looked miserable, and that's what an apocalypse movie should be. I'm sure I'm glad I'm watching it and I'm not living it.
Right.
I think the practical effects make a difference, and I think a lot of these remakes, they don't put the effort in. They try to just copy that template from the old one and just think that nostalgia factor is going to bring bodies to the seats, and it does for the first weekend, and then it dies.
I mean, the problem with a remake, it's kind of like covering a song. If you're not doing something different, then you don't know why you're listening or watching it. Like you gotta. That's why The Thing works so well, because it's so different from the original Thing. I mean, they're really two very different movies.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes them work. And actually, the Dawn of the Dead remake too is just different enough from the original. I actually like both. I mean, I think the original's an overall better film. It's got more movie.
Yeah. I've always felt like the Dawn remake was.
If they didn't have the zombie baby, it probably would have gone over better. I mean, that was outrageous. I loved it. It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in a zombie movie. But I mean, it was fun. There's a lot of cool things they modernized in the new Dawn remake, which was cool. Like the armored bus scene was, that whole plan was cool. They tried to escape a different way, even though it still blew up in their face. Just like the helicopter.
So
that shit was awesome. Oh. Yeah.
It was a cool, like they did some cool stuff in the I like the found, how that whole hokey found footage thing. You can either really do it well or you can do it terribly. I like how at the end, when they thought they escaped, it's just like the original Dawn of the Dead. Did they really get out or not? And there's, they're bum rushed when they park that sailboat on the dock, and the zombies, just the horde just goes after them, and it's the camera just laying on the dock, and it's like, damn, it's just hopeless. Why'd you even try to escape? You're better off just dying when it happened. It's just futile. Resistance is futile. The zombies always. So that was cool.
Oh.
I agree with that. I think they're both great.
Especially running zombies. I mean, I just blow my brains out right then.
Yeah, no,
Right.
running zombies, that's a no for me. 28 days later, it's like, nope. Give me shambling zombies every day.
You were talking, Shelby.
I do find scarier. Like, I find the running.
I mean, I can't run that far if undead thing that has no limits of physical ability is chasing me. They literally just run until they disintegrate. So I'm gonna lose. What are you gonna do? Climb to a higher place? And it's like they're gonna just, it's like what World War Z? They're just gonna pile up on each other. It's like, oh god, no. There's no escaping that.
What did you guys think when you saw that? World War Z with the zombies piling up on top of them.
Oh, it was horrifying. That was like another example of, I mean, that was a really hard source material to adapt. And I thought, I mean, again, it got torn apart by people, but I think it's an enjoyable movie to watch. They had to pick sections, that whole book is an anthology of people's zombie experiences. It's like, so they kind of had to cobble something together.
And I almost thought, I mean, because I think the first time I watched it with you, actually, in Lexington. I feel like it, I mean, I enjoyed it enough. I thought it was good. But I almost think I would have liked it better if it was an anthology film.
I think there was a missed opportunity.
Just different little segments and stories of
all
over the world, because then you could have different factors come into play of lifestyles and religion.
Well, just like think about the handbook, the zombie survival, whatever it is, where that's an anthology, and it's like the different pieces. It's like, well, you shouldn't eat the zombie meat because it's toxic, because these people ate it and they all died and turned, and it's like it'd be cool to have different anthology. It's like even like 5-minute vignettes of like, oh god, this is what happened in this zombie encounter. Like it's like 1,000 ways to die with zombie.
Yeah.
Something like that. It'd be funny.
So Brandy,
just thinking about that.
Yeah.
What is your thoughts, Brandy, on the topic? Do you have any Like, do you have a remake that you like and that you've seen the original of and you still like the remake?
I liked it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it didn't scare me the same way that the first one did. Granted, I'm a lot older now.
Right.
First one, that scene where I can't remember what his name is. George, I think.
Georgie.
Is
Georgie. Yeah.
Yeah. When he's in the shower and he comes up the shower drain, like that scene, honestly, for 2 weeks I was afraid to take a shower. So the remake didn't do anything to like scare me afterwards, but I do like how what is his name? Skarsgård. I like how he still used the material of it, but made him his own also. And the makeup's different. How he does his eyes, I think, was interesting to put that in there. And that's a skill that Skarsgård actually has. That wasn't like done in production or anything. That was actually him. And I think learning that a little bit more gave me a little bit more fear.
Yeah, that was definitely creepy. If you can like make your eyes cockeyed, that's that's next level. You already got a leg up. You're fun at parties.
They did really well keeping with, the book and paying homage to the original while also making its own thing. So I liked it.
I mean, granted, there were how many pages is that? Like 1,500 pages.
Yeah,
There's a lot of material to pick from. I mean, I agree. That's a good. You can't ever outshine the classic, but it was a damn fine entry, like a great R-rated entry to the PG-13 TV movie version. Like, that was
and I was gonna say
terrifying for a TV movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that is like
for it being a ABC
TV
miniseries.
I can't believe that showed on TV. I mean, when I watched it, I was like, "Holy cow, this is like a TV thing!" I was like, "Oh my god!" They didn't really show anything.
I didn't know that it was on TV. Like I thought it was the movies.
I mean, I watched it in like 2002. I mean, I was still too young to be watching it, but it terrified the shit out of me. It was like, no, I don't like clowns. I definitely don't like this. This is no thanks. But
now, I just saw it recently. Actually, I missed it as a kid. Everyone talked about it, but I never caught it. Then a couple of years ago, I found
off for it.
Maybe. I like having those magic, traumatic childhood moments that you can reflect on later. But it still frightened me as an adult. I actually found the whole idea super disturbing. And Tim Curry actually scared me more than Skarsgård, just because Skarsgård's super creepy, but he's so creepy. I think he'd be the world's most ineffective child hunter. Like no kid
I get that.
Anywhere near him.
Yeah, I get you. Tim Curry is like approachable. It's like then he turns into Pennywise.
Blossom.
Like, oh shit. Yeah, I can see that. But I mean, Rocky, horror show. He could be scary. Depends on what the kids are watching. Well.
See, I know I did see Rocky Horror when I was 7, and it was very confusing for me.
I was very confused when I watched it the first time. It was not a horror movie. It's like, what the hell is this? This is just bizarre.
Yeah,
it's fun, but it's bizarre. I don't know what's going on.
With a name like Rocky Horror, and it's got all the castles, you're like, oh, this is going to be awesome. And then I learned what a transvestite was.
It's just a Transylvania drag show. I was so confused. I was like, what is this? It's interesting, but I don't know what it is. It's not a horror movie.
Now that I think about it, if we saw it when we were young, this makes us pretty hip children. You get a head up on all your other friends.
Right.
Or a leg up.
A fishnet up. Fishnet down, leg up.
Well, parts.
It's whatever. They're very breathable. It's the aerodynamic properties of it. It's just a sensible piece of
clothing. You got to shave your legs first. Getting your hair caught in the fishnets.
Right. So what are some... If you could pick one film or property to be remade, not rebooted, but just remade. Film. It has to be a film that's already been made, obviously, of course. What film, horror, sci-fi, action, your choice, would you like to see be remade? Let's start with Shelby.
That's not fair.
Pressure's on.
Damn. Okay. It's sacrilege because I love. There would never be any you could never eclipse the original, but I would love to see a modern take on it because we've reached that year in the movie and gone past it, and I think we're arguably more dystopian now. I'd love to see Escape from New York revisited.
I knew you were going to say that. Yes.
Any of the Escape, dimension. I mean, you can't beat Kurt Russell as Snake Plissken, but I mean, we're not going to get Kurt Russell Snake Plissken anymore. I would love to see.
Who would you cast as those new Snake Plissken?
I think he could, but I don't know. I don't know if he will, and unfortunately, I don't know.
He can be old man Snake.
I wish I had $1 billion to hand it out. Like, John, Kurt, here's $500 million each. You're doing it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. That's it. We're doing it. It's a pet project, and I'm bankrolling the entire thing. I would make him do it. We'd film it on my phone if we had to. But I don't know who I would cast. I mean, the hot name. I would like a Tom Hardy type. Maybe not Tom Hardy. I would like to see somebody like that. I know he ends up being typecast in this kind of role. I would like to see a gritty, non-verbal kind of just an everyman do it.
That's true because Snake never really
kind of non-verbal.
Much.
He
Yeah, that's true.
He's a soft-spoken man, but he's a tough as nails motherfucker. He don't take no shit, not even from the Duke.
This is going to sound crazy, but I think you should cast somebody who you wouldn't think of, like one of the guys from Twilight. Simply because when they cast
they already shot Robert Pattinson as Bill Paxton, so that would work.
Somebody like that, somebody you wouldn't really expect to excel in that role, but I think they would. An everyman, they got a wide range there. You need somebody. Who the hell's Kurt Russell? He just kind of did everything and killed it all the time. I mean, that's what you need. Somebody who excels no matter what role they're given. Mm-hmm. It's a very rare trait.
Because when they cast him, he was like a Mickey Mouse kid in the studio. There's no way he could play a tough guy, which made it really cool that he did it so well. So I was thinking, you got to find some Disney kid or something. You
got to find the next Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
Ryan Gosling. I mean, Gosling killed it in Blade Runner 24. I wasn't a fan of Ryan Gosling, and then he absolutely killed it in Blade Runner. I'm a fan.
A guy his name is Ryan is what I'm getting from.
A Ryan. Yeah, that's so dreamy. It's so dreamy.
All right, Brandy, what do you have?
Okay, going with sci-fi.
Okay.
I want to see like a modern take on the original Matrix.
Ooh. Because
they have to use the phones, like the landlines, to be able to go into the Matrix and to get out of the Matrix. Nobody has those anymore. All we have are cell phones, really. So I want to see how they would do the Matrix in a modern time.
I feel so old because in my mind that is a modern movie. I'm like, wait, what?
I feel like
in the
they
Matrix,
might do that
they
with
were
Matrix
already
4.
dying. I mean, in the original Matrix, the landlines were a problem because they were getting harder to find in 2000. And I was like, that was already a problem. That was like the scarcity of getting in and out. So that would be interesting to see how that gets revisited.
Yeah, because I know they're going to make the fourth one, which will probably address it, but if you're starting out and you're in this, then what is the alternative to a landline and how do you find that? And get a hold of this whole new world that you're going into. I'm the one,
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Circle back. Keanu is Snake Plissken.
Keanu.
That would be awesome.
Ooh.
Just roll it back around. There we go.
That's the monotonous role he was born to play.
It is.
All right, Waylon, what do you have? If you could remake any title you can think of that you would like to see.
Well, my girlfriend will laugh when I say this because it's predictable, but I think Nightbreed would be a great one to reboot or remake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love the original. I saw that as a kid, and it blew my mind. I think every edit of that film I've seen has not been great. The theatrical cut, even as a kid, I knew was compromised. And then I saw the director's cut, and I went, well, it's better, but there's a lot of stuff I think needs to be shortened up because the pacing is now all kind of, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'd love to see that redone.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good one.
Good. I haven't watched that in a while.
Now, was the director's cut, was that the Cabell cut.
Not quite. Like it was the Cabal cut was where they'd found in Clive Barker's closet. I guess they found work print tapes,
Mm-hmm.
and so they spliced all the work print footage with the theatrical cut, and then toured that so they could get funding to find the actual film elements. So then they released just the director's cut, which is short of the Cabal cut. We saw that at the New Beverly in LA, and it's like 4 hours long. I mean, you just don't know what's happening after a while. Like, what? I thought they were dead. I don't care anymore.
Right.
So the director's cut was definitely better. You know, it's 2.5 hours. Perfect.
Yeah. It seems. I mean, outside of Hellraiser, which I feel is obviously because he directed it. I feel like his adaptations of his films are very hit and miss, much like Stephen King's. But I feel like, Rawhide Rex was decent. I feel like Lords of Illusion was pretty good too.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Candyman's good.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Candyman. Yeah.
It's hard to adapt. Like, I think his stuff works the way that H.P. Lovecraft stuff works. You know, it's a little bit obtuse.
That's a
you
good.
know, and it's hard to make it visual. Like I actually think Nightbreed works because he just basically made a comic movie about his horror novel, and so if you can't do Clive Barker in the depth, you know, the way that's going to translate all the depth of his writing, may as well just kind of do it as almost like a cartoon.
Right.
You know? So I thought that really worked.
It's a dense source material.
Yeah.
I think that's
I
a
like this.
really hard position to be in as anybody writing a screenplay. It's like, it's such a great thing in prose. How do you put it in something you could convey visually?
They were going to. I believe Hulu picked it up. I guess it's still in development. I'm not sure, but they were going to be doing a series based on the Books of Blood, and
I heard about that.
I don't know what the status is on that. If it's going to be episodic or serial, I'm not sure, but that would be good. That would be pretty
I'd
cool.
love
Sure.
that.
Yeah.
I understand that Midnight Meat Train. I thought the movie was wasn't quite what I wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. If I had to pick a film to be remade that could be better than the original, my gut reaction is to go to a B movie, horror movie or something, because I feel like you can probably elevate any of those. But I think if done right and done, because it would be such a reflection on societies today, probably even more now than then, would be They Live.
Oh yeah.
We just get a shout out for John Carpenter for being a goddamn just the best.
The best.
Cool, Dad.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and really, yeah, Roddy Piper made, you know, his famous lines, him and Keith David, or is it David Keith? Always get Keith David and David Keith confused. Keith David,
Yeah.
okay.
Found the goddamn sunglasses.
Consumed.
You know, I don't know who you would cast as that Roddy Piper role, and I think you could get someone that's obviously I wouldn't want to go the route of let's cast a wrestler because that's what they did in the original. I feel like you could get someone that's maybe has the roots in comedy, and have it kind of translate well into that, because I mean, there could be
Like a satire. I mean,
it's some lighter elements to it that I think they could do naturally, but then they'd be able to show a different side of themselves. Who that would be, I have no clue. So I'm not even gonna try
you need to get like an Adam Sandler Uncut Gems kind of.
So someone like that, you know.
That movie was nuts. I still can't believe that was Adam Sandler. That was an incredible.
Yeah.
That was an unstopped anxiety attack. It was like every single chance you could stop and get out of that loop of destructive behavior you could, and he just kept going. It was like, that was beautiful. That whole story.
That's why I've been avoiding it like the plague.
Oh, I mean, It's hard for me to watch it again, but it was just, I mean, the way it's put together is just a non-stop. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Stop. Take the win. Get off the train. Get out of here. Know when to quit while you're ahead. It's just like doubling down on poor decisions until there's no decisions left to make. It was incredible. But I get that. That's what you need. You need I like that. They Live is it's timeless. It's a timeless story. It's just a timeless parable.
Yeah.
History repeats itself.
Unfortunately.
Oh, always.
Yeah, so we had, like, in this, to me, as far as the horror genre goes specifically, the entire 2000s was like, it feels like it was dominated by Platinum Dooms and their remakes. They did Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which wasn't a bad remake. I enjoyed that remake a little bit.
That's a franchise that needs a proper treatment, though. How many times has that been started and aborted? That's just a mess.
I think they did.
Right either.
No, they won't.
No, it's so terrifying. Like, you know what I mean?
It is. It's like the source material is just perfect. I mean, it's Ed Gein. It's like just you could do so much with it, and they've just squandered it. It's still terrifying what we've gotten. It's still horrific to watch, but they could have had a universe built around it better, more cohesively.
Yeah. But yeah, like Platinum Dooms dominated the 2000s. I think they did the House of Wax remake with Paris Hilton, which I actually want to go back and rewatch because
I need to rewatch that
because I've read a couple of like pieces recently that for some reason have been a thing online, and like people are like reflecting back on it, and I want to give it another shot because I remember watching it when it came out, which I love the Vincent Price version.
Oh yeah.
I was actually able to go see that in 3D, actually in actual 3D, when I went to go visit my grandmother in Detroit one year, like in the late 90s. So it was really cool, but I've always loved that movie, and so I definitely want to go back and revisit that because I feel like especially compared to the remakes we've gotten since that release, I feel like that's probably going to be one of the better offerings in that regard. As far as like the main core of like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, I liked the second half of Rob Zombie's remake, where it's like what we actually saw in the first film. Other than that, wasn't a big fan of the first half, where it's basically him as a kid with the white trash.
Never made it to the second half because of that.
Really?
Yeah, it's like I don't care.
It's hard.
No, I don't blame you there because
we didn't need the backstory because we know what he did. He got his soul sold out.
Yeah,
has to kill his family members to stay alive. I mean, that was established early. We didn't have to go through the whole white trash childhood.
Totally. I didn't even know why he's doing it. I thought it's so much scarier that he's just a kid that no one knows why he killed his family.
Right.
And why he's evil. And that.
Well, I guess, we don't see that until later. It was like, the first one, he just kills his sister and then he's locked up in the mental institution and he gets out. And it's like, oh shit. Loomis is like, you should have killed this dude. You should have fried him from the beginning. He's going to get out and kill again. And guess who was right? Dr. Loomis. Rest in peace, Donald Pleasance. You magnificent bastard.
I'm still waiting for my Loomis toy. I don't know why no one's made one yet.
Dude, I would buy that in a heartbeat. Right? I would buy the president with the briefcase, with the football.
You're
the Duke of New York. Hey, number one. He's like at the briefcase under it. Oh my god, I love Donald.
I'd also like could they do like the Duke's car too with all the bling?
The chandeliers.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Isaac Hayes behind the wheel. I would love that.
It's over. They start making some proper Escape from New York merch. It's mine. Halloween 3 merch. I'm on it.
They actually Necco came out. Necco came out with a set of Halloween 3. Kids with the masks. Yeah, I've been meaning to pick that up.
Mondo had those great posters. I got there's a Mondo Halloween 3 poster I wish I could get. It's like a stereoscopic 3D. It was like a special commission print for some rich Yahoo somewhere out in California. They only made like 250 of them, and it's like a stereo. It's like if you had 3D glasses, you could see it, and it's really cool. It's like glow in the dark 3D, and it's amazing. And the only picture that exists is like a low fidelity image on the internet of it. It's like, what a.
All right. So, do you guys have any other thoughts and comments, opinions, wishes on the topic of remakes and
I'm
in
excited for
correlation for their other originals and stuff as well?
I'm excited for Dune because Denis Villeneuve did that too. And given how he handled Blade Runner, Dune is a very, very, very heavy source material.
Yeah. God.
I wish the Dark Tower could get a proper revisit. I thought they cast it perfectly with Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey. Had to try to fit so much in just one movie for the plebs to understand it, which is impossible.
Then that's best to be a.
That should be like
like an HBO series or Showtime series,
like a Westworld. It needs to be like hour-long episodes, and there needs to be like 8 or 9 of them to tell.
Like a season needs to cover a book. Yeah, that's how it should be.
I mean, Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey is the gunslinger and the man.
I love Matthew being cast as the Man in Black.
That was so beautiful watching that, but they just fit so much in. People are like, "What the hell is this? I don't understand. This isn't Stephen King."
Yeah, it was a cluster, that's for sure.
Like, you bastards. Appreciate what's been put in front of you.
Brandy, Waylon, do you have any thoughts on the topic at hand before we close it up for the night?
I don't know. I think anything I want to see remade, no one else wants to. Like, I think it was out of step. Like, I don't think anyone outside of Lon Chaney's done the Phantom of the Opera right, and I would love to see that happen.
That'd be cool. I mean, that's a timeless story.
That's great. Well, you know what I want them to do? Did anyone here read the book Phantom by Susan Kay?
I don't think so.
You did?
I don't think I have. No, Phantom. No.
Yeah. It's really cool. She made a book, and it's just the story of the Phantom. So it's his whole life story from when he was born and leading up to him getting to the opera house. And it's great because he's still scary, and it's they do a backstory. But it's not. It's done well. It's not like a complete pity party. Like, he's still really engaging. Yeah. So like this guy's totally terrifying. I think if someone made that, it would be cool because everyone knows what happens in Phantom of the Opera at this point.
Right.
So I think doing that story, plus you get to see this. The makeup possibilities now would be amazing because in the book, he has no nose. He's got basically he's like a living skull, and you could actually digitally take a nose out.
You could.
Really. Scare the hell out of people.
Let's start the campaign for Doug Jones to be the Phantom in that adaptation.
This is a Doug Jones role.
100%. I mean, with Universal, I'm of the party that I was really excited for their Dark Universe concept.
I'm so upset
when it first came out with.
A little bit, yeah.
But
so much opportunity.
But now that they've done the Invisible Man and Ryan Gosling was cast as the Wolfman in their new Wolfman film. I would, and so which I haven't seen the Lee Waynol's remake of the Invisible Man yet, but I've been meaning to.
The newest one.
Yeah, that came out in February. I've heard it's good.
It looks creepy.
Yeah, great.
I really liked it.
It looks like it'd be a good.
You saw it, Brandy?
It looks like a Blumhouse classic. I mean, it looks like it's got all the parts of it's like James Wan did it. It was what the trailer made me think. I know it's not him.
I like that they don't have. I mean, obviously he's like the Invisible Man. So most of the movie to me felt like you're scaring yourself because that's what they try and make her feel like is that. There's nobody there. It's just her mind running.
But he was
wild.
actually really there.
Yeah, and that's the way that the movie kind of plays out.
That's the way the book is too.
Yeah, it's like, is he there or is she really just thinking some of this? And obviously there are instances where he really is there and you can tell and she can tell. But for the most part, I mean, you're just holding a camera to like this blank space and you scare yourself.
Yeah. Was that H.G. Wells?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I mean that's a classic because it's a weird book. It's a weird concept. The whole thing. It's terrifying. It's like what is he? Why is he? How could you be the Invisible Man? I was like, what would if you were the Invisible Man? What the hell would you do? Like,
Apparently stalked my ex-wife.
are you a monster? Are you a man? Like, what the hell? I mean, it's just a weird. You're like in between. Those are the creepiest monsters. Like the Guillermo del Toro concept of like the worst monsters in every Guillermo del Toro movie is the humans. It's not the monsters.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of,
I always love
speaking
that.
of
They're the worst
him,
people.
I'm so upset still to this day that that they never went forward on his adaptation of In the Mountains of Madness.
We're not gonna.
Yeah.
That would have been
That was
amazing.
That was disrespectful and unnecessary. And again, if I had unlimited resources, along with John Carpenter in one studio, we'd have Guillermo del Toro doing what the hell he wants to. I'd bring Stanley Kubrick back from the dead. Let's get 2010. Let's get all of the Space Odyssey books done. You know, I think 2010 is underrated. If you've never seen 2010 Space Odyssey after 2001, I think it's worth watching. The book is fantastic. All three of the novels are awesome, but it's different. You can never replicate what they did in 2001 with the hand-painted backgrounds and the way they thematically did that on film is incredible. But I think 2010 is a really cool story too, and they did a pretty good job of telling it.
When did that come out?
Like
the 80s.
the 80s. Yeah, it was not.
Okay.
It was what 2001 came out. What 67? It was before the moon landing. It was like 67, 68, and then it was like the early 80s was 2010. Yeah. I think it gets kind of lost in time.
Oh yeah. Well, it's huge shoes to fill. you
Oh
know?
yeah, I mean it's hard. It's like unfair, really, truly, because it's not a bad movie on its own. But I mean, it's how do you follow? That's one of the greatest works of art to ever exist. Just stupid.
This would be a fun
good.
topic for you guys to do sometime. Forgotten sequels.
Ooh,
Like,
yes. Yep.
We did a sequel to The Birds. Remember that?
Yep.
Mm. It was. Oh yeah. It was called. What was it? Was it
Return of the Birds,
Lands?
wasn't it? Or...
No, like Land's End. Land's End.
Oh yeah, no hands. Oh god. Yes.
It's
Yeah.
There, I mean,
So
there's a
bad.
lot of the Hitchcock stuff got glommed onto after the fact. I think there's several. His
I can only think of The
originals
Birds
got
and obviously
I
Psycho.
thought there was
but Psycho 2 was amazing. So.
I thought somebody did like a sequel to Vertigo for some reason, or they tried to do
No,
something that like
no,
glommed
I don't think
onto
so.
it.
I might riot in that situation.
I know it was weird, but it was like something that had. It was a movie I was watching that had a weird vibe that made me think it was supposed to be connecting to Vertigo. I'm like, how dare you?
That would be funny to do a purposefully bad Vertigo remake where what's the
Called Dizzy? Called Unstable.
Unstable, yeah, and it's like the lady's still not dead. You know, she comes back.
She was
again.
there, like, what the hell's wrong with you, man?
No,
Like,
no,
why?
it's her power.
You were on pain medication. You came back from the dentist, and it was a wisdom tooth extraction. What are you doing? You never left the couch.
It was all a dream.
It was all a dream. But you destroyed everything. I'm divorcing you.
Yeah. So in addition just to random like topics like this, we also want to try to do some like series retrospectives and stuff as well. And what I'm really interested in doing, because I've been watching a lot of Argento stuff lately, is his Mother's trilogy, which is Suspiria, Inferno, and Mother of Tears. And
You know what? I haven't seen either of those outside of Suspiria.
really, I haven't seen Mother of Tears. I've seen Inferno. It's been about a decade since I've seen that, probably. But yeah, they're all like thematically connected through these, and and that concept is based on a pre-existing. I don't know if it's folklore or like urban legend or what it is, but these three mothers are like witches, and each film is like focusing on one of the sisters or each witch or something. But yeah, definitely want us to do that in addition to other series as well. But yeah, well, I guess if everyone's had their fill with talking about remakes and stuff. We'll call it a night. And
Let's make a remake.
Let's make a remake.
Let's cash in.
That's the one we just did. Yes.
The
We'll
gang
swap
sells
all the
out.
roles.
It's like it's a drop the crawl for It's Always Sunny. The gang sells out. Let's make a remake. It's a done deal. It's easy money.
Right. Well, Waylon, I want to thank you for coming on and talking this for tonight. It was really good finally being able to talk to you and getting your insight and opinions on various remakes and films and stuff. And we'd love to have you back on in the future if you're down for it.
Totally. Yeah. No, count me in. Thanks for having me on. It was fun.
Awesome.
I was like, this is perfect. I would be on the phone with a friend yakking about horror movies anyways. So.
Right. Exactly.